Live from the surprisingly still slightly warm hot spot that is Cartersville, Georgia. Currently heading to Cartersville, heading through you Harley. It is a stormy, rainy morning, so we're going to be coming to you through the raindrop. Whenever it starts to get too heavy, we'll have to cut the stream, of course, but I just felt like yapping. I don't know. One of my friend's pets just passed away. Her name was Honey. She was a rescue dog from a, dog mill. And she passed away at the age of 6. Forget Me Not was real sad about it, and understandably so. And just couldn't understand because she's a small breed dog, so they can live up to 20, 30 years. And I just don't have the heart to explain to her what that poor dog likely endured before it reached her doorstep. The other thing was I've been watching a good bit of Ashley Viola. I guess that's what algorithm wants me to watch now for a while. And I don't mind her work. She's a good content creator. And yeah, y'all, I say that we need to collectively cultivate a knowledge of anti-capitalism within each of our children. Because capitalism sowed poison into their cereal brands. They made them into brands, I mean. We can say that we didn't, but how many people, if I start Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, how many of y'all could probably sing the rest of that? Without, hell, some of y'all never even seen the Flintstones. It stopped making things before I was born. And I'm an older millennial. But there were a couple good live actions. And they associated themselves so strongly with the silent generation and boomers and Gen X that they'll probably last long through the fucking zillennials. And possibly even through Gen Alpha. But why is that, y'all? How many of y'all can tell me your great-great-grandmother's name? Or your great-great-grandfather's name? But you can tell me who Tony the Tiger is, can't you? You can even probably tell me a time when Tony the Tiger helped you through. Sometimes it feels like we cooked. But then I see great hope for the future as well. Like I said, it's a hard road to hoe. Sadly, I'm not collecting anything as far as trash goes this morning, as I'm currently walking through a storm. And clearly... Hello, Vanessa. One moment. Let me get to where I can walk straight here. Okay. Hello, Vanessa Guzman. Hello, Ivy Mack. Hello, Braden White. Hello, Vanessa Guzman. What do you mean, Ivy Mack? That's why people are leaving me. Nobody's leaving me. I'm good. One of my friend's pets just passed away. And I'm very much anti-capitalist, but that's because what's the other side of that coin? Capitalism inevitably, by the end of its run, ends up where we're at now. A scam culture covered with fascism. Because it's a predatory system where one must always have their boot on the back. Such wonderful hits as serial killers, toxic waste, toxic pollution, nuclear war. I mean, technically we'll always be fighting each other, friend. Vanessa Guzman, I'm all right. I'm just currently hiking into work. After I get to work, I'll do a 9 to 12 hour shift. Hopefully I'll get a break today where I can take notes. And then I'll either hike the 4 or 5 miles back home, or if one of my coworkers gets off in his head. It's been a dramatic kind of couple days. Between my pet mouse dying, her pet dog dying. We got one coworker who I've basically been standing up for and defending, and he's moving to get a higher paying job. Which again, I'm happy for him, and I really hope he doesn't fuck it up because the kid is a good kid. My coworkers really enjoy bullying him, and I try my best to promote a non-toxic work habitat. Kind of comes as part of being anti-capitalist. Capitalism demands that we can be in competition with each other. I'm much more of a one rising tide lifts all boats. That's why normally I'd be picking up trash on my way in, because again, I might just be tossing starfish into the ocean at the beach, but every little thing you or I do makes a difference. And if you're more anxiety driven than positivity driven, every bad choice you make also has a modifier to it. Every time you decide to leave that bit of plastic on the ground. Here's a fun little random fact, don't abuse it, it's just science. You know how to make homemade gasoline? Take plastic particles, put it in a steel barrel, and by plastic particles I mean check the plastic to make sure it's the proper grade. Put it in your barrel, run a copper pipe out the barrel after you've sealed it, and run that pipe through water because you're definitely going to need a cooling factor. Have the pipe do at least one loop, and then drop into a bucket or something of that nature. Then light a fire underneath your barrel full of plastic. As the plastic melts and burns, it'll release basically gasoline gas. As the gas goes through the copper pipe, you're using copper because it transfers heat better. That gas cools off and turns back into a liquid, which drips into your bucket. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm begging you not to try this without having done your actual homework on it. But the reason I'm telling you this is because of this. Ecology. All these idiots who throw their garbage on the side of the road and all that. What do you think that plastic does as it cooks in the Georgia sun? About 90 to 100 degrees every single day. Slowly, but not fast, very slowly, biodegrading into a nice goopy pulp on the ground. Well, then a lightning strike happens, say over there where they put metal up on a hill. It ignites that plastic. That now spreads. Ecology will balance itself out. Nature bats last. Whatever we do is sort of like an RPG. People like game analogies and anything but looking at the harsh reality of what we live in. So it's like in your favorite RPG or whatever. What happens is nature takes what we give it and then gives us back what we deserve. So as Texas goes underwater, as Savannah cooks right now, as California and Canada burn, that's because we have not listened to the subtle warning. You're taking out the animals. The construction workers aren't out here with rifles, folks. No, it's the fact that long before the construction workers come in, we get rid of all the natural prairies, we get rid of their food sources, and we leave them with our toxic garbage food that we also poison just for good measure. And yet nature still finds a way, but it comes back sickened, which gives way to gonorrhea outbreaks, dysentery outbreaks, all sorts of cleanliness problem outbreaks, because you've got dead animals that are just rotting. This is shit like in the bubonic plague days. This is shit like in the dark ages. And yet people are so obsessed with their nonsense trends that they can't see it. And I'm not trying to be here being the end is nigh, because it's not. We can reverse this trend. It just takes working together. And that's why I'm saying, do what you can every day. Okie dokie? Yeah. All of my pets, minus my mouse friend, are fine. Also the feral animals that I feed in the neighborhood, and to the best of my knowledge, because I haven't had a chance to invest in trail cameras yet, the other wild animals that I feed through leaving food scraps from workout. I make sure not to leave any grease, but that's just because grease has a habit of polluting the waterways. Technically, that's why they tell you not to throw your grease away in the trash, because all of our trash trucks here in the US are so poorly maintained, it often leaks things on the ground. That's why, even though nobody pays attention to what you're not supposed to and what you're allowed to throw away, that's why you're not supposed to throw away things like motor oil, cooking grease, cleaning products. That old bottle of bleach that your grandma had that was from the Depression era that could have been a collector's item in a different lifetime that you threw out. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that, because if one of your other neighbors threw out ammonia, you've created deadly mustard gas inside of a trash truck. That's not good. But that's why we have these rules that nobody pays attention to, because they don't tell you the rules. They put them inside the little agreement you sign when you sign on with Trash Taxi, Recycle Lift, City Solutions, Waste Management Solutions, or whatever variety your trash man is named. But that's the thing, we don't credit. It's like one of my workers who's like, well, why are you so tired? I take care of 3 dogs and like 12 different cats all together. I personally take care of 3 dogs and 4 to 5 cats at a time every day. Then I have the shrine that's dedicated to the wild animals that I take care of in the yard. Then I have the various little pocket shrines, more or less, I've set up along the trail that I walk to work. On top of that, I walk 4 to 8 miles a day. I maintain a constant job, even though it doesn't pay me very much, but it does give me access to food. That food I take and I try to rebuild the natural environment everywhere I can. But my country puts a paywall on education, so I'm stuck getting my ecology from the libraries. Also, since we're moving on the 12-minute mark at this point, screw it, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee app. Name's under the same name as my YouTube channel. Want to fund there, or want to fund the channel? Go there. I'll mention your name every time we do a video. I do videos at least once a day. Typically 3 to 4 uploads a day. Sometimes video game content, most of the time walking when weather permits. At the moment, it's still just light drizzle from the raintops. So I'm gonna take this hood off, and breathe a tiny bit better. Still no sunlight yet. Y'all have a good day now either way. Exactly, Aquanoxer. That's the big problem of this entire situation that I find myself in here in Georgia too. Because this road I've walked since I was a small child. Mostly because I was middle class, but not like upper middle class. I would walk the other end of it in U Harley proper to go to school. And I remember deer every single morning, possums, armadillo. I would see a wide variety of woodland friends, and as a kid that didn't have very many friends, go figure, ADHD, schizotypal disorder, and a little bit queer in the South, I can't imagine why I wasn't the favorite child of the town. But I made friends with the animals. I made friends with long walks in nature where I could basically fuck off and let the world fuck off. And I guess I stayed gone too long. I would stay on YouTube occasionally. I worked on the towboat for a while. Got drugged back to Georgia when my father/grandfather's health was failing. And kind of got stuck here. Now I just do what small parts I can to try to help where I can. Because I'm basically stranded at the moment. I mean, not truly. I have friends. I'm still trying my best to build a community here. But all the wilds have been robbed while I've been gone. And trying to rebuild them, I mean, it's possible, but it's difficult. I mean, in a perfect world, I could tell you, hey, go to your local Home Depot, use the Google device in your pocket, search up local wildlife, buy local wildlife, plant and go local. Here's a tip, folks. You're not going to find local at your Home Depot, nor at your Lowe's, nor Walmart, nor Ingles, nor any big box store. If you're lucky, if you're super duper lucky, you might find a fanatic online who can sell you some seeds. There's a guy working in Alabama that I'll eventually get his data for the community tab that collects wild seeds in Alabama and sells wildflowers native to the prairies there. He's trying to restore our Native American prairies because that's why we don't have animals. That's why the only animals you find, and in lesser numbers now than ever, you find on the side of the road, run down by gotta get there, oops, I didn't realize the camera was facing me. Run down by gotta get there quick over there. Hello, Benny the Blue Monk VR. Hello, Panzoe. And exactly, I keep hearing from my coworkers when I bring up the troubling times that we live in that this way I can actually see chat, and then I have to immediately flip it back. Like I said, y'all, always try to be safe, and I'm doing my best. Normally I'd have my big silly sunbonnet on and I'd be trying to be like, not brave, have brevity over the situation, but it's just difficult. And it's not that I don't understand. His mother-in-law was all about the whole, back in the Bible day, you set aside the joys and toys of childhood, and you take up the work of manhood, and da-da-da-da. And yeah, dude, I see why they were so happy to die. But I get why kids want to buy Squishmallows and Labubu's and chocolate, and I get the idea of, oh God, this is fucked. I want to go back into the crib. I get that. There's a whole reason behind old people buying sports cars or flirting with women that are way too young for them, or the variety of other predatory, terrible behavior that old people do. And again, I get it, but it's, y'all, I think it's beginning. I mean, it took me forever. I'm still coming to grips with it at 36. But the fact that, yeah, and USA might not even exist anymore. On a long enough time scale, much like the old songs say, we are but dust in the wind. And yeah, maybe we should sit and get comfortable with that, and it would make it to where we're less likely to buy bullshit, to worship at the feet of the masters and the corporate oligarchs, and to be willing to do the shit like those brave men and women at Blair Mountain. To be willing to stand up like the brave people in LA right now. Because truthfully, friends, another reason that I broadcast to you every day, I don't know how many days I got left. I'm open, anti-capitalist, and proud. I stand 10 toes down on what I believe, because I would personally rather be dead than continue living in this shithole of a country. But I'm not going to go do myself. I'd rather personally take the fight to the shithole place and make it better as I go. And for the record, that's not to, like, you know, get you to go. It's the worst they can do, kill you. Is death any worse or better than living in this depression? And yeah, y'all, in China, the Gazan genocide going on in Palestine, and the fucking trans and queer genocide going on here in America right now. You can say that it's not, but right now they have outlawed homelessness and they have classified being trans as a mental illness. If you are on the streets and now mentally ill, they will send you to a camp. I know math is not good for most Americans, and thinking further than 2 steps is really asking a lot. But I beg of y'all, follow the 3 steps they're giving you and figure out, yeah, it's a genocide. And understand that when the time comes here in 50, 60, 70 years, when the people that don't know you by name but only know you by what you did or didn't do look back, well, what are they going to say grandma did during that time? I bet you no matter what you did, your family's going to say you fought for the good. So fuck it, be lazy, right? That's what most people are doing. Again, I'm out here picking one less piece of plastic going into an animal's belly. That's one less flammable bit of bull on the ground. And if I can get some seeds in my hand, like from okra, tomato, lettuce heads, yeah, I'm trying to plant a little bit of life more than 200 feet away from the road. Once I can get the okay from my local areas to start taking my buckets into the rivers where I throw some of the food at times and starting to pull up some of that mud that builds up, I'll be able to take some of that muddy river bottom and plant fertile, good soil on some of these. The food matter that's growing life for the animals around, that's just shit that would otherwise go into the dumpster at work, and me having a good lesser boss. Now the owners, they know nothing about it. If the owners of my company knew I was doing this, oh my God, they would fucking go off on me. I would definitely be fired. They would try to probably make me pay for the garbage I've been stealing if they had their way. But I got a good boss and it's going to the trash can anyway, so he just lets me load it into a different set of bags and looks the other way. Sometimes that's all it takes to be the difference. Is to give you a bit of a backstory. I'm walking to my dead-end job. I'm a millennial living in the South in Georgia. I've got minor medical knowledge and training for medical office support. Plus, I took care of my retiree grandfather until he died. I've got barely any money to my name, but I'm okay. And I work about 60 to 80 hours a week. But if I miss one day, if I get hit by one of these douchebags flying by me, if I get sick, well, then I'll be homeless. And I'm okay with that. Not that I'm happy about it, but you know, we live in an existential dread state here in the US. And it kind of makes me impervious to the fear of death. Because end. Exactly, and I believe there's a song. If someone can name it, I'll quit with the yapping about it, but it's, oh, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. I don't know how the rest of that song goes, but it's a very nice. That's the other thing that upsets me about this. Greta Thunberg is a full-grown ass adult now. She started by just skipping school a few days and protesting in one of the richest, most powerful countries in the world. She is still fighting for the cause at damn near a couple years younger than me. I ain't done shit. Hell, I was part of the fucking problem for the early part of my life because I was raised in the world's anus here in Georgia. I was taught all that stupid eco shit's just stupid lab folk not knowing how the world works. And then I learned what ecology was, started looking at the experiment. Okay, time to really start fixing things then. And so I read about the, hope I say this right, but the digger holes and leave the peasants to starve and die. Well, the diggers, the trillmen, the farmers who actually gave a shit and weren't just up the rich people's ass would go out and start farming on the king's land. I know what you're saying. Oh, that ain't shit. No, but if they were caught, they'd be lynched. Going just to put some food on the ground. And they were fighting against far stupider people than we're fighting against, friends. So that's why I'm saying, put in the good fight. Don't go gently. And for fuck's sake, if you know that it's helping the cause of the problem, don't help it. Reusability, it's cool. We're good with it. Because you shouldn't be. Everyone should be a personal loss. Every time you do the crazy shit like I do and walk into work, or hitch a ride with a friend, or carpool, that's one more victory. Gamify it. I mean, the capitalists did, and they've gamified every fucking thing. Gamify saving the planet. Pick up one cup. That's a 1/1000th of a point. Take one piece of paper and shred it into little bitty bits before you put it outside. Boom. You've helped to make soil. Now, it'll take a few days, maybe even a few months, depending on what kind of paper that was you shredded. But shredding it makes the difference. Break it down further. Any food that you throw out there into nature, by that I mean nature, any food you throw out there, good, do it, please. If it's a vegetable or a fruit, try to get it at least 200 feet away from the road or into a feeding water source that'll carry it. That's what I do every time a black walnut tree downs a branch. When it comes to Mother Nature, she will fight with us. But I mean, we're fighting against a lot of different cults, and most of them piggyback off of Jesus. I'm doing my best to avoid the cult calling bullshit. I don't want you to call yourselves green gorillas or golems or any. Don't. Be yourselves. Make your own brand. Pull through it. But let's all pull together and unite under the common banner of making things better for everyone. I know, a radical idea. I mean, hell, if you know of an immigrant family near you, hide them and house them quietly without needing to tell every goddamn person and their mother about it. When you see an ICE agent, call that piece of shit what they are, a fascist piece of shit. And then you don't got to be violent, just tell them they're a fascist piece of shit. And oh, you're hurting my feelings. Good, you're a fascist piece of shit, I don't care. I do the same thing with a couple Trump supporters, both customers and co-workers. And if they still support Trump, we're done to, hey, how's it going? Fuck off. Well, you're not a very friendly person. Not if you support Trump, I'm not. Fuck you, slaver. I really think John Brown had it right with you cunts. Done. Moving on. Conversation closed. Yeah, I'm radical for it, but I'm also fucking done. Because you know what the Trump supporters have done? Not a damn thing. Hey, what about them Epstein files? The most of his movement was built on the asinine idea that they were going to save the children. Who are we saving them from now? Oh wait, they get real quiet about that now, don't they? I like Chris Christopherson, Aquanet. Sir, give me a second. Gotta be careful where I stop at, otherwise I'll get hit. Whatever, Ryan Graham. Drink the Kool-Aid and shut the fuck up, you baby back bitch. Like I said, I'm done with nonsense like you. If you think Jesus is gonna save our soul, all I ask you is where's he been for the past 2,000 years? Where was he at Tuscany? Where was he at Appalachia? Where was he in the fucking Union of 1812? Where was he in Blair Mountain? Where was he yesterday in Palestine? Where was your Jesus then? If he can't show up, fuck him. He's as useless as my biological father. Like I said, it's simple, y'all. It's a matter of being a little bit radical. But, you know, Ryan Graham wants all the positivity with none of the actual work. And I believe calling that out what it is. Being a baby back bitch. Like I said, take the wins, take the positives. Trump is basically a large rotting corpse right now. And he will eventually die. Then his son and the rest of his little group will slowly build up another figurehead or die with them. Oh look, a chair is here to defend him. Hey chair, do me a favor. What is a chair? Take some time, mull that one over in the tiny noodle. Make sure you get both brain cells working in tandem together now. They work best in tandem. But as I was saying, we got a moldering corpse in the White House, and the Republicans will basically fall once this happens. Because we've seen this threat before. The thing about it is, I am awake. Where are you at, bitch? Are you sleeping? Hey, buddy, it's time to wake up and start the work day. Oh, wait, you probably one of these rich little twats like these around here. Some of us have to work, bitch. Go home and be a parent, please. Now, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, Republicans have trouble with it, but be original. Ooh, I'm calling it out. Next one's going to be calling me a predator, and I'll fire back for supporting the world's second biggest child trafficker in the world with that, or Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, Trump's bestest buddy. I mean, I'm trying to feel sorry for the guy because his best friend did kill himself in prison with no evidence. So yeah, go ahead. Come at me, bro, but just please make it original. I know it's hard for y'all, but again, 2 brain cells, rub them together. Get them working in tandem. You got to hold your breath for a minute maybe, but you got it. You can do it. As for the rest of us, the reason I say to stand alone in this project, but stand together in spirit, is because they can take me down. I'm a radical. I will happily stand 10 toes down on my radical ideas and notions. Hell, I'm the type of person that has walked through storms to go to a dead-end job where I would be talked down to and just eat shit for 12 hours while making food for other folks. I've been there for over 5 years and I still haven't climbed above I basically cover more positions now. And I get paid a little bit more than everyone else, supposedly. But that's the thing about capitalism. So long as everyone's scared and they're scared to be poor and they're scared to be the little guy in the group, of course everyone lies about their bullshit. Give me a second, checking stat. I was born in 1988, Coke Productions. I'm guessing that's Cocaine Productions. I do also like Roxo from Metalocalypse. See, here's the funny other thing about it. Most of you right-wing folks, other than being pussies, you're just scared of everything. And that amuses me. Most of your media, the badasses were woke. Frank Castle wasn't only defund the police, he was motherfucking shoot the police. I mean, fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, every single one of y'all that watched Fight Club and came out a bigger capitalist and consumer, it astounds me. It truly does. It boggles the brain. And I see that Chair's back and still can't describe to me what a chair is. Come back when you can speak, Chair. I don't know who Uncle H is. I'm afraid, Coke Productions, you're either going to have to come out and be a full-blown fascist, 10 toes down, or stop being a little bitch in my comments. Take your pick, bud. Are you being edgy like a little bitch who's unoriginal, or are you a Nazi? If you're a Nazi, just come out and say it, because then I can ban you and we can move on. Chair's getting ready to get banned because he don't got the two brain cells to rub together to tell me what a chair is. So go on. Come on, Coke Productions. Have you done too much of the coke, even though we all know y'all folk don't do coke, you do meth? So come on. Come on. Oh, yeah, I'm one of those white guys. I read the history books rather than burning them. Unlike you, you dumb little bitch, I read the history books rather than burning them. Give me a moment. Nope. God damn it. Give me a minute. I think I just added you as a moderator. That's funny. Remove. I ain't gonna report you. Ain't said nothing. Poor fella. Maybe poor in physicality, but I'm rich in spirit and far stronger than you are. Also, my dick's bigger. If you notice, my name's on the channel. This is my face. My whole actual real face. Where are you at, bitch? Oh, that's right. Tell me when you leave your mama's basement and we'll talk. Otherwise, I guess you're a moderator till I figure out how to fix it. Mod well, my little bitch. Mod well. And I'm actually getting more subscribers of using chat. That's weird. Does chat like being spanked? I would like to be better. But it is weird how y'all show up like right now. I do like it about every morning. There we go. Bye-bye, Coke. Like a bad habit, you done been kicked. Hey, Chair, what's up? So now that you understand a chair, tell me, what is a woman? Because something that I sit on, is a toilet a chair? Is a horse a chair? Is a stump a chair? Is you, once I knock your bitch ass out, a chair? Tell me, what's a chair? Nah, I'm good. I'm right here. Come on, let's play. I don't know who Nutcracker from Monster House is. Again, Chair, we gonna be deep? I don't think I'm gonna be deep with you. Sorry. I don't do intellectual battles with somebody who's fighting unarmed. They tend to just drag you down into the mud. Let's see if I can get rid of you without making you into a moderator this time. Remove. Hey, I will say, y'all, use your enemies. You're going in timeout. I'll give you a little bit. We will put you in a 30-minute timeout. That'll take you out for the rest of the day. Bye-bye for today, Chair. Come back tomorrow when you want to get owned again. Oh, and if you want to come back tomorrow, by the way, dear friend, make sure to come back with your picture. If y'all argue with your real face, I might let you stay around and say your stupid shit. I'm all for giving the racist enough rope to hang themselves with. But that's up to y'all. You don't want to, I totally get it too. It's hard getting pwned by a poor white man walking down the side of the road. Especially since I ain't got no books, I ain't got no Google. I'm owning them with the power of empty brain. And that upsets them because it shows how empty their brains are. Now, one big part about ecology, now that we can get back on the topic and back on what matters. The thing about ecology and balancing out your environment is everything you do makes a difference, and the environment will eventually balance itself back out. It's just a matter of whether or not it will actually allow us to be here still when it does. Now, some of the bigger things you can do if you happen to have money, buy your own property. The economy is getting ready to crash. When that crash comes, there will be a period, a very short period probably, but a period where housing not only becomes affordable, you'll probably be able to pick up real acreage for real cheap. It's how a lot of the boomers and the silent generation, may they rest, got most of their money. They bought a big chunk of land, then sold it to the next corporation when it came through. I beg of you, don't do what they did. When the market crashes, because capitalism is inevitably very fragile, buy up the property you can and start building the third places I hear everyone say we want. I mean, y'all, who remembers Buffy and Angel and those 90s classes? And you'd have a construction worker and a businessman, or a taxi driver and a waiter. You'd have folks of different classes hanging out. That's the power of third place. It's the power of community. It's all about that. And honestly, that's the kind of shit we need right now. Real community, real people. And yeah, I lost the plot a little today. Perhaps I shouldn't have given them the airtime they did. Part of that's experimentation, because I have found that if I just quietly ban the racists, nothing ever changes, nothing gets done. When I call them out, make fun of them, demean them, and then ban them, well, my views spike for a hot second. I might have 1 or 2 subs. Chair might subscribe to the channel just so he can hate watch me and fire back some real hot shit the next time he gets on. I'm assuming because statistics say most of these ultra fragile dudes that instead of just scrolling on past will say something are angry, just got home to an empty house, it's with him to eat, and then immediately leaves his side because he's so angry and violent all the time. And he was just in there, And then he heard my gay ass on the internet going, hey, y'all, let's get together. Let's build a community. So he just had to get on here and say something racist. And nah, fuck that. Make fun of them, ban them, move on. And ideally, the reason I put food in the riverways as opposed to just throwing it on the side of the road. These plants that are growing here, some of them, not very edible to us, but edible to other animals. Some of them are very pretty, but very poisonous to us. And all of them are unfortunately poisonous to the animals because they have been contaminated with tire gunk and gasoline, for lack of a better term. It's the after fuel off of it all. So when you plant edible food, try to plant it more than 200 feet away. Like if I were gonna do it here, I would be super sneaky, not gonna do it on the internet. That's stupid, that's videotaping your crimes. Don't videotape your crimes, pro tip. But I'd sneak behind the big tree line cover and dump out a few tomato parts. Maybe a few cucumber slices and some seeds embedded in the cucumber meat. And then the next time I come through, if I can douse some water from the river, put that over top of the seeds. If I can do it all without the landowner who clearly doesn't manage their land, some fellow that they hate that's a migrant in a big hat probably manages their land on an auto rider. So yeah, you can plant it, and if you do it right, they won't notice it until well after it's blossomed and fed a few animals. Understand, y'all, if you want the Herculean badass story of Leonidas standing up against God and spitting in his eye and we conquer capitalism tomorrow, comrades, this isn't the channel for you. What you want is a pipe, but what you want is some good-ass weed, because that's not how we get out of capitalism, friends. We get out with little steps. We ate the capitalism poison. It got into our brains. It got into Chair and the other idiots' brains too. But you can also get it out of your brain. You can also free yourself of it. All it takes, start thinking of the world outside and look at it with a little bit of empathy. That could also work. Because the problem with parceling it out is that feels like what they tried to do before, and it inevitably ends up with the, corporations coming in and bidding on your neighbors to sell their land. And for the record, I am for collectivism, but I would put it under like a trust that the land can't be torn apart. Because again, it's like I'd still consider her a granny if she's still alive. I don't know her actual name, but she was my cousin's grandmother. And she owns a good chunk of land just because Walmart wanted to buy a store on her property, and she held out until all of her neighbors had sold out. But her house was sitting at the middle of the property, so Walmart paid her top dollar. I'm not throwing any shade at her. I don't want any judgment towards her whatsoever. But to me, that feels a little dishonorable. Very clever, very clever. But, you know, it's sort of like how Washington is a figure in history that sits real odd in my head cabinet. Because, yeah, he fought the king. I love anyone that fights a king. But he also, you know, crossed a frozen river in the middle of Christmas to slit a bunch of working British soldiers' throats to win that war. Clever, very good, killing people during a ceasefire, but also, you know, little war crimey, little sneaky, little, you know. So then we got to look at means and ends here, because eventually that's what most Americans do. Yeah. I assume that means peace is the answer, or you peacing out. I get it. Like I said, I ain't arguing about it with people like that. I'm just... Yeah. This is what's wrong with having a broken brain in this country. I could today go and purchase a firearm. I'm not gonna, because I might be crazy, but I'm not stupid. But I could go purchase a firearm today. Could I go get a therapist to talk to about, you know, the loss of my family? Working for 32 years now, nonstop. The last vacation I had was in 3rd grade. Okay, can I go get help with those thoughts? Or the fact that I hear voices all the time, and the only way my brain associates that is basically thinking that our Mother Earth is talking to me? Because, I mean, otherwise schizophrenia would be scary, yo. And I'm not schizophrenic. That's not I wouldn't declare myself as such because I don't have the diagnosis from a proper psychologist or psychiatrist. As far as I know, I'm just ADHD with schizotypal disorder. But it is kind of fucked up we live in a country I can't get medication or therapy or help, but I can go get weapons all the ding-dong day. I wonder why the NFL shooter did it, y'all. I wonder how the NFL shooter did it. Can't imagine. It's the doors. It's the goddamn door companies. Those motherfuckers. They just need to think more about Americans. They need to put some kind of installation in that'll scan the entire human body from top to bottom and detect if there is metal gun shape on them. That's what we need to do. And then we need to sell more guns, because surely if more people in that building had had guns and been armed to the goddamn teeth, nothing would have come of it. The gunman would have been shot down like a dog in the opening of it. Or maybe, just maybe, life isn't an action movie. And yeah, gun control is something that we need to do in this country. That there are reasonable limitations to the whole, my guns, my freedom. And also I would say, you know, for all the motherfuckers that keep saying, oh, I get my guns to fight my country, they're deporting people en masse. They're deporting U.S. citizens that were born here as well, that just have the nerve to speak out against your Fuhrer. Friends, if you were going to buy those guns for fighting the government, not that I'm saying you should, not that you should ever do that, but now's the time. Did you expect the government to go, oh, by the way, now we're going to be fascists. Here's the gong. We're going to take down the American flag, put up the swastika. No, that's not how that shit works, idiots. They put it under the American flag and put Christ's crown on top of it, and then sold it to the piggy masses as another consumable product. And boy, howdy did the pigs love their slop. I mean, maybe it's just I'm jaded. I saw what happened after 9/11, and a totally not fucking fixed event. That's no sarcasm there. It's a terrible event that happened because of U.S. policy and someone having enough power and trying hard enough and getting through defenses that weren't that great. Y'all, famously, again, being before 9/11 and after, I remember when you could bring knives, guns, weed eaters, chainsaws. You could bring all sorts of crazy shit on a plane. That's why the running gag afterwards was, Sir, you have a half bottle of deodorant, sir. A week before, that guy was bringing a chainsaw on the plane with gas. We learn, we grow. Oh, most definitely. And I hate to say this, but the turret system probably already exists. We just don't see it here. I mean, there's a reason the governor's mansion's robots can articulate. I'm just saying, I'm not saying they're going to start shooting us yet, but who remembers Lafayette Square from about 5 years ago? I know we're all ADHD and we have trouble remembering shit, but who remembers Lafayette Square? When a bunch of motherfuckers that just went to church to hang out and pray and do their thing, got tear gassed. Because outside of that church, there was a very small group of protesters, and the president wanted to get a photo op with a Bible. So he didn't give a shit that it also had normal church folks in it. He just tear gassed the whole group. This is the time when I would like to remind y'all, thank the Marines around you today, because I guarantee you Tiny Stalin is telling them to fire on the people in LA. And the Marines keep, sir, that is not a lawful order. We will not do that. But you're not going to see that because, of course, they're not going to publicize that the military isn't open and, openly saying, no, sir, we're not following that order. As someone that was raised by military, I can kind of see when they're just basically standing in place. Now, again, I am not saying try to fight them because that would get them moving in a bad direction. But understand the fact that they're not open firing on civilians yet is a positive sign that it ain't over yet. That's the main thing I want to deliver in the last bits of this for those watching in the future and watching what I'm fighting against, really, because y'all remember how the road looked, right? This is kind of 0.0 for me. And these folks are living on the last part of the wilds right now. Because that goes into Cartersville. That's the wilds we just came from. Did you notice when the wilds died? Because right out here, now we're entering in the land of bones. Yeah, we got some wildlife in the river, large number of turtles. Most of the time I don't record this part of the walk because when walking on that side, you'll see all their carcasses. Because again, folks driving in their cars don't really care about the little guys. And I beseech you, if you want to be radical, it's not about being John Brown. No one else can be him. It's not about being a radical, badass fighter. What it's about is being willing to care about every life form you can. And yeah, rebuking the evil assholes. Fuck them. I'm not saying to buy a Trump supporter a cup of coffee and have a beer. Fuck them, fuck their beer. What I'm saying is continue the work in spite of them. Take their hatred and use it as a fire to warm you on the cold nights. Take their fear and turn it. Because if they're trying to scare you, they are scared. But I don't know if y'all can hear it, but the rain's starting to come down. I got to put y'all in my pocket. Be good. Exactly. I hope you come back, Aquanexar. I like you. Please come back. Everyone else also, please come back, like, subscribe. Y'all know all the stuff. I got to go before we get too wet. I got to get under this poncho. Less than a mile left. If I got to ride home, I'll be doing 3 video game streams. If I don't, we'll be doing a walk home and 2 video game streams. Eventually, I'm on Fit Art streams in there, but I got to get the studio/house cleaned up first. Y'all be good, be safe. Remember, no matter what you engage in, and if you engage in totally cool civil disobedience, I respect and love you. But keep yourself safe, especially out here. Stay hydrated, stay safe. Y'all know the message. Be good. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.